Hello Pisces, Pisces rising, and Pisces moon people. This is your weekly astrological and card forecast for the week starting December 26th, 2016, the last week of the year. And a quick reminder for you guys, remember your monthly January horoscopes are already up on a special playlist of their own on the main channel page. And don't forget, classes are also starting up here in January. Tarot Tutorship online classes and Astrology Webinar Love classes are happening. And you can register for those at my website, integrativemysticism.com. The first tarot class starts on the 8th. Just a quick reminder for you. So, what's going on with your astrology this week? Well, in the beginning of the week, we've got you getting put on the spot with Jupiter in your 8th house of passive income, self-employment money, as well as venture capital, forming an opposition to Uranus, currently in your 2nd house, your earned income sector. And some of you Pisces people may be given some kind of opportunity to take a freebie, or to take a buy or a pass, to further your own professional or financial goals, but it will come into conflict with maybe some professional loyalties you have. You know, sometimes that can happen where we suddenly find an opportunity to, promote our own business, but we're also still working for somebody else. And they are going to be at odds. I also feel like sometimes this is, this can be a tense angle for some folks who may not necessarily feel ready to, to kind of get rid of the routine that they've already had. Or there may be even a business partnership situation where you are suddenly finding out that you and your partner are not going to be able to work together the same way you have anymore. There might be actually somebody kind of choosing you over your business partner. We want him, but not him. That kind of discussion coming up. It is still a big break, but it may cause some strange, awkward feelings in the first 3 days of this week. Later on, we do have Saturn, the planet of restrictions and boundaries, in your 10th house of career, forming a 10 square with Chiron, currently in your sign. Now we have Chiron, the asteroid that rules our unfinished emotional business. Okay, it's wounds that won't heal. Some people call it the wounded healer, I call it our baggage. And we have Saturn forming a square to Chiron from the 10th house. It has everything to do with feeling like we are actually getting through to the people that we work with, whether they're people on a team, people in our family, or those who participate in our career as well. Some of you Pisces people may be feeling like you don't resonate or know how to connect any further with the clients, the customers that you have. Or you may be feeling like it's time to think about a different way to present your message, because something is not necessarily getting through to the people that you need to start paying attention in order for you to, again, further your work and your career. So this might be a time to pay attention to where something is not sinking in. Sometimes we are shown where something is not effective. Where people aren't learning, they're not picking up what we're putting down. And maybe it's because, it could be because they're not smart enough, or it could be because we're not putting down the right thing. So what is going on with your cards this week, we may ask? Well, for your spiritual advice, we do have the card of Ragnarok, the card of destruction and endings. And this is basically saying you are the one who's in charge of initiating this week. And I'm not saying you're going to go and do anything crazy. But with the Ragnarok card, it's talking about punctuations, which is so poetic at the end of the year. That's not poetic, it just makes sense. But with the Ragnarok card, we do tend to see a need to start punctuating, whether they're relationships or whether they're obligations or endeavors or commitments. What needs to be closed this week? What has been going on for too long? With the Ragnarok card, we must ask ourselves, Pisces, what is, what do I need to finish? What is not going to go away on its own in a big way? What have you been waiting to go away on its own? What do you need to stop waiting for to go away on its own? What do you need to end, essentially? And again, it is voluntary. You don't have to do it, but it is your spiritual advice. For your Earth sector, when it comes to your work and finances, we do have the 10 of Cups upright. And the 10 of Cups is showing up here again as a happily ever after opportunity or happily ever after moment for a lot of you Pisces people. This could actually be the big opportunity to, again, take that higher. You may even find yourself, again, being discovered, like we talked about in the astrology. Somebody actually, again, finding you, reaching out to you, offering you a job. The 10 of Cups upright tends to talk about a satisfactory conclusion or a satisfactory ending to a long-standing project or endeavor that's getting glittering reviews as well. So if you have any, proposals to make, or you're submitting any reports or presentations you've got to make, now I would honestly say you have no fear to make. The Ten of Cups may also come with some kind of prize or some kind of bonus. For your communications with air when it comes to your friends, your relatives, and the others in your life, we've got the Justice card inverted. This could be a tense week when it comes to friends and family, because we may actually be finding out that a friend is up to something that may be considered unethical, immoral, or maybe even illegal, even in the most small of ways. And I think that with the Justice card inverted, this may be something where you have to maybe intervene, or at least check in with them to make sure, are you sure you really want to do this? Because when people feel like their backs are against the wall, they do tend to take risks that could get them into a lot of trouble, with a much higher risk in a much smaller reward. And the Justice card inverted says, we're not talking about people going out and robbing banks here, but we are talking about people fudging things up on purpose. And I think that with the Justice card inverted, it's up to you to discuss this out with your friend. Like, when did it get so bad? What is the self-sabotage all about? Because the Justice card reverse can indicate that is exactly what it is. A self-sabotage moment, and something they might be prone to. For your challenge this week with fire, when it comes to the challenge, we've got the Two of Swords inverted. Sticking to your guns is going to be your challenge, Pisces. I know you Pisces people are always great listeners, and you're always open to hear things out and change your mind and be open-minded, but sometimes sticking to your guns is just as important. Especially when people are trying to play on our emotions and play on our sympathies. We don't want to, let our friend or our relative, convince us that it's okay for them to put themselves in harm's way. The Two of Swords inverted can also indicate a need to pay attention to where you need to keep your eyes on the prize and not let yourself get distracted this week by anything else. Sometimes we put off an important business meeting, or we decide to reschedule an interview, thus giving another person an opportunity to score that job because we decided to wait a week. So the Two of Swords inverted is saying this week, again, keep your focus, absolutely, but also stick to your guns. Don't let yourself be swayed or pulled away from it. We're not being stubborn this week. A lot of the distractions or a lot of, temptations to change our stance aren't necessarily all they're cracked up to be. For emotions with water and your romantic life, we do have the Ace of Wands inverted. And this card can indicate maybe you and your partner, you and your crush, are going to need to take some space this week. Nothing wrong with taking a little bit of space, in the middle of the week. It's not the end of the world, it's only a week. And the Ace of Wands inverted usually shows up as sort of like attention burnout. The risk of attention burnout, where, we've had a couple of really hot dates, we've been spending, we've been joined at the hip, night and day. Well, honestly, if we keep spending time together, even though one person or both people are starting to burn out, that burnout can turn into, into frustration, into resentment, leading to a longer break down the road. And a lot of people don't really know that, because with the Ace of Wands inverted, it's talking about too much of a good thing, becoming a bit, going a bit sour. And some folks might not necessarily understand that right away. And your partner, your crush might not understand that. So make sure that they, that they do know that you're trying to keep things special by, again, let's take our space, everything in moderation, it makes it all the better. Because sometimes people, you could spend 72 hours day and night with somebody, and they're not going to understand why space is necessary. They might still take it as though you turned them down, even though you've already done the deed. So make sure that they understand that, but I do think some space is going to be necessary. Again, we don't want to burn out on each other. So that is your forecast this week, Pisces. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. I appreciate it. And of course, if you'd like to get a session, you can always follow the links below, or go to integrativemysticism.com.